Hello everyone, today in this video I am going to deal with the 5th chapter of class 6th. The title of the chapter is A Different Kind of School, written by E.V. Lucas. As the title suggests, this chapter, this story is about a school which is different from the normal school, and how it is different from the other school which we have in our society, that we will come to know after going through this chapter. So let's move to the chapter. I heard a great deal about Miss Beam's school, but not till last week did the chance come to visit it. So here the story starts with I. I here refers to narrator. So narrator here says that he has heard a great deal about. It means he had heard a lot about this school. उसने इस स्कूल के बारे में काफी कुछ सुना था, काफी तारीफ सुना था. About which school? The school which is run by Miss Beam. So this school, the owner of this school is Miss Beam. But till now, the author, the narrator, has never got chance to visit that school. But last week, he got a chance to visit that school, Miss Beam's school. When I arrived there was no one in sight, but a girl of about 12. Her eyes were covered with a bandage and she was being led carefully between the flower beds by a little boy who was about 4 years younger. She stopped and it looked like she asked him who had come. He seemed to be describing me to her and then they passed on. So here arrived, it means when the narrator reached there at Miss Beam's school, and in sight, no one in sight, it means to be seen. So here in this paragraph, through this paragraph, the narrator is expressing his experience, whatever he saw, whatever he witnessed there, whatever he experienced there at Miss Beam's school, that he has started narrating to us through this story. So this is the first incident, and what first incident he experienced, that is being given in this paragraph. What he says there in this paragraph is that as soon as he reached there, he saw a girl of 12 years old. Here you can see in this picture, the girl is about 12 years old. Her eyes is bandaged. Her eyes is covered with a bandage, and she is being led by a boy who is around 4 years younger than this girl, and the age of this girl is being given, that is 12, and this boy is about 4 years younger than this girl. It means he is around 8 years old. And he says that even though the eyes of this girl was bandaged, but as soon as he reached in the campus, it seems that she understood, she was able to sense and feel it, that someone has come in the campus, and she stopped and she asked the boy who was leading her path. She asked her that who has come in the campus, and it seems to the narrator that the boy was describing the narrator to that girl, and they were walking between the flower beds. Here you can see there is a row of flowers. This is known as flower beds. And then the boy stopped. He described the narrator to the girl, and after that they passed on. They went. Miss Beam was all that I had expected. Middle-aged, full of authority, yet kindly and understanding. Her hair was beginning to turn grey, and she had the kind of plump figure that is likely to be comforting to a homesick child. I asked her some questions about her teaching methods, which I had heard were simple. Here, middle-aged, it means around 40 to 50 years old. And kindly means friendly, plump means pleasantly fat. Here you can see in this picture, the lady is not much fat, but is a bit fat, that is plump sort of figure. Homesick, it means that there used to be some child who used to long for their home, who wants to be at their home who used to miss their home a lot, that is homesick, longing for one's home during a period of absence from it. So here in this paragraph the author says that finally he was able to meet Miss B, and he has described Miss Beam in this paragraph. He has referred her as middle aged, which means around 40 to 50 years old. She was full of authority, and but she was kindly, it means she was friendly. Her hair was about to turn grey, and she was a little bit plump, it means she was a little bit fat, and due to which the author sensed that it might be giving comfort to the homesick child. It means the child who used to miss their home a lot. Miss Beam might be able to comfort those child very easily. So then he says that as he has heard a lot about that school, Miss Beam's teaching method, as well as about her school, and therefore she asked her number of questions. No more than is needed to help them to learn how to do things. Simple spelling, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and writing. The rest is done by reading to them and by interesting talks, during which they have to sit still and keep their hands quiet. There are practically no other lessons. So as in the previous paragraph, the author has said that he was very curious to meet Miss B, and when he has met her, he has asked her several questions about her teaching method, about her school, that how she used to teach her students. Then she has replied. She says that it's quite simple. Just she needs to teach the students very few things. And what are those few things? She is teaching them spelling, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and writing. And after that she says that, and the rest of other things is done by reading to the children. It means students are supposed to sit quietly. They are asked to sit quietly, and teachers, Miss Beam, she used to read the lesson to the children, and she used to talk to them in a very interesting manner. She used to narrate interesting stories so that the student will be interested to listen it. And in the meanwhile, the children are supposed to sit quiet while she is narrating the story. And then she says that this is all how she execute, how she teach her students. The real aim of this school is not so much to teach thought as to teach thoughtfulness, kindness to others, and being responsible citizens. Look out of the window a minute, will you? Now in this paragraph as well, Miss Beam, she has continued her talk. She is continuing her thought. She is still explaining her method of teaching to the narrator. Here in this paragraph, thoughtfulness, it means the quality of being kind. Responsible means aware of their duties. So she says that the real aim of this school is not much to teach thought. She says that the aim of her school as well as of her is not only to teach the students. She not only want to give the theoretical knowledge or the bookish knowledge to the student, but she also wants to give them the quality. She wants to inculcate the qualities of human being in the child. And what are those qualities? It means the child should have kindness toward others. They should be kind to others, and they should be responsible. Responsible, it means they should be aware. They should know that what are their duties. Being a citizen, what are their duties? They should be aware of it, they should be known of it. It means her teaching method not only concentrate on the bookish knowledge, but she concentrate on the societal development of the student, that is the development, all round development, and most importantly the values, moral values, development of moral values in the student. Then what she did, she asked narrator to look out of the window. She requested him to look out of the window. Let's see what he saw. I went to the window which overlooked a large garden and a playground at the back. What do you see? Miss Beam asked. So when Miss Beam requested the narrator to look out of the window, he went to the window, and what he saw from the window, there was a large garden, and behind that garden there was a playground. And then Miss Beam asked the narrator that what did he saw there in the ground, in the garden. Let's see what he saw it there. I see some very beautiful grounds, I said, and a lot of jolly children. It pains me though to see that they are not all so healthy and active looking. When I came in, I saw one poor little girl being led about. She has some trouble with her. Now I can see two more with the same difficulty. And there's a girl with a crutch watching the others at play. She seems to be hopeless. Creeper. In this paragraph, jolly here it means happy and cheerful. And at play. At play it means playing. Hopeless it means unfortunate, without hope. Cripple it means caused to become unable to walk. So now in this paragraph, the author, the narrator of this story, is explaining, he is narrating to Miss Beam whatever he has saw out of the window. Then what he says, that is being given here in this paragraph, he says that he see some very beautiful grounds, and in ground he says that there are number of jolly children. It means children are playing in the ground, students are playing in the ground, and they are very happy and cheerful. But he says that it pains me, it hurts him. And what hurts him? That he says over here, that he can see that some of the children are differently abled. In the very first paragraph, he has said that as soon as he entered the campus, he saw that one of the girl was not able to see from her eyes. She was not able to see. Her eyes was bandaged. There was some difficulty in her eyes. The same thing he is explaining it to Miss P. And he says that there are number of children, but some of them are not healthy. Some of them have some difficulty with their health. They are not physically fit. They are not looking active. And then he narrated the incident. Then she narrated the girl whom he has seen when he entered the campus. And then he says that even now he can see two more children with same difficulty. It means he could see two more children with their eyes bandaged. And then he says that he can see one more girl child who is on crutch. Crutch, it means she is taking support to walk. She is not able to walk. And he says that that girl seems to be hopeless, without hope, and she seems to be crippled. It means she is not able to walk properly. So this is what he narrated to Miss Beam. उसने कहा कि मैं देख रहा हूँ कि कुछ बच्चे फिजिकली फिट नहीं हैं, कुछ देख नहीं पा रहे, कुछ ऐसे हैं जो सही तरीके से चल नहीं पा रहे, और वो बच्चे इस नैरेटर को होपलेस दिख रहे हैं, विदाउट एनी होप दिख रहे हैं, और बहुत ही लाचार दिख रहे हैं, जो कि चल नहीं पा रहे हैं ठीक से। Miss Beam laughed. Oh no, she said. She's not really lame. This is only her lame day. The others are not blind either. It is only their blind day. I must have looked very surprised, for she laughed again. So as soon as the narrator narrated her what he could see from the window standing over there in the office, as soon as he narrated it to Miss Bean, she started laughing and she said that, oh no, it's not like that. The girl to whom you are referring as a blind, she is not a blind. And to the girl to whom you thought to be a lame is the person who is not able to walk properly. So she says that that girl is not lame. It's her lame day. And the girl whose eyes is blindfolded, it's their blind day. And she started laughing. So when she was laughing, it was quite surprising to the narrator. So let's see what is this blind day and lame day. This is a very important part of our system. To make our children appreciate and understand misfortune, we make them share in misfortune too. Each term, every child has one blind day, one lame day, one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. During the blind day, their eyes are bandaged. Absolutely, and they are on their honor not to peep. The bandage is put on overnight, so they wake blind. This means that they need help with everything. Other children are given the duty of helping them and leading them about. They all learn so much this way, both the blind and the helpers. Here in this paragraph, appreciate it means understand fully. Misfortune it means unfortunate condition or bad luck. And bandaged it means they are blindfolded. Honor it means have promised. So here in this paragraph, Miss Beam is explaining it to the narrator that what is the meaning of blind day, lame day, deaf day, injured day and dumb day. So she is explaining the system of her school. So what she says, she wants her child to be compassionate, to have sympathy. She wants her child to feel the pain of other people, the people who has faced unfortunate condition, who has met with an accident, or the one who is blind, or the one who is not able to walk properly, or the one who is deaf, or the one who is injured, or the one who is not able to listen it. So she is teaching the students, she is teaching the children about the condition, about the suffering, about the pain of those people who has suffered a bad luck and due to which they are suffering. So in order to make them feel that how those people used to feel, what problem they used to face, in order to make them realize what she has done in her school, she has made a blind day, a lame day, a deaf day, an injured day and dumb day. And each child have to behave like a blind or like a lame or a deaf or injured or a dumb on the day, on a particular day. And example is being given over here, that suppose if someone have a blind day, then what is being done? The eyes of those children, of that children used to be blindfolded. Blindfolded it means it is being bandaged with the help of some clothes, as it was given in the first paragraph. In the image you have seen it. So the eyes of those children, of that children used to be blindfolded in night only, so that as soon as the children wake up in the morning, he would feel like a blind person. And once the eyes are blindfolded. As the eyes are covered, the children are not supposed to look. They have to behave like a blind. They are not able to look. They are not able to see anything. And one student are supposed to lead the path to that blind child. It means one student are supposed to be the helper of that blind children or of that deaf or injured or lame one. So she says that this is how both the students, the one who is blind or lame or deaf or injured or dumb, as well as the one who is there as a helper, both of them learn a lot of things. Both of them share a bonding. Both of them assist each other. So this is how the child learns the values which is required to be a human being, which is most important and which is above all bookish knowledge, and which can't be learned from any book. So this is what is the most important part of her system. So this is how she says that she teach her children, and this is how she says that her education system, her system of her school is different from other schools. There is no misery about it, Miss Beam continued. Everyone is very kind, and it is really something of a game before the day is over, though even the most thoughtless child realizes what misfortune is. So she says that it is not difficult. Here misery, it means difficultly, unpleasantness, thoughtlessness. Here most thoughtless, it means careless child. So she says that playing this game, playing a part, being a blind or lame or a deaf or dumb for a day is just like a game. It's just like a role play. And while playing a part, while playing a role of a deaf or blind, the children, the one who is deaf or blind for the day, as well as the helper who is there to assist that deaf or blind, both of them learn a lot of things. And she says that there are some children who are quite careless. They don't have any compassion or sympathy for the people who has faced misfortune, who has suffered, who is suffering, who has faced a bad luck in their life. So even that kind of children are able to realize that what misfortune is. So by doing this, each and every children learn a lot of moral values, values which is most important to be a human being, to live in a society. The blind day is of course really the worst, but some of the children tell me that the dumb day is the most difficult. We cannot bandage the children's mouth, so they really have to exercise their willpower. Come into the garden and see for yourself how the children feel about it. So now she says that she feels that blind day is the worst day. It is the most difficult day, because the children used to be blindfolded. The eyes of the children is covered for throughout the day. It means he would not be able to see anything for that particular day. But she says that some of the children tell her that dumb day is the most difficult day. And why the dumb day is most difficult day for them? Because they are not supposed to speak a single word, and even the mouth is not bandaged. So they had to exercise their willpower. It means they had to control themselves. On a blind day, their eyes are blindfolded, and therefore even if they would like to see something, their bandage on the eyes will obstruct them, will not allow them to look. But on the dumb day, the mouth is not bandaged, they are free to speak, but since they are playing a part of dumb, they are playing a role of dumb, and therefore they had to exercise their willpower on themselves, and they had to be quiet. They are not supposed to speak a single word for the entire day, and therefore some children says that it is the most difficult day. Then she asks the narrator to come into the garden, and she asked her to experience himself that how the children feel about those old days. Miss Beam led me to one of the bandaged girls. Here's a gentleman come to talk to you, said Miss Beam, and left us. Don't you ever peep? I asked the girl. Oh no, she exclaimed. That would be cheating. But I had no idea it was so awful to be blind. You can't see a thing. You feel you are going to be hit by something every moment. It's such a relief just to sit down. Are your helper kind to you? I asked. So now the narrator, he is in the garden, he is among the children, and then Miss Beam took him to a girl who is blind for the day, who is playing a role of blind person, and she introduced the narrator to their children. Then the narrator asked her, don't you ever peep? It means don't you ever try to look out of that bandage? Then she said that no, if I will see by removing that bandage, it will be a sort of cheating. Then she says that it feels quite bad. Awful here, it means bad. She said that it's quite bad to be a blind, because she says she is expressing her feeling, what she feels when she is blind. She says that it feels quite bad to be a blind, and then she says that it often comes to her mind that she is going to hit by something. As she is blind, she is not able to see anything while walking, while doing anything. The person can be hit by anything. So therefore she says that it's just a relief to sit down, to be seated at a place only. Then the narrator asked, are your helpers kind to you? Let's see what she replied. Fairly, but they are not as careful as I shall be when it is my turn. Those that have been blind already are the best helpers. It's perfectly ghastly not to see. I wish you'd try. Then the girl said that the children who has already been a blind for a day, they used to be the best helper. Why they used to be the best helper? Because they had already experienced the challenges, the problem which a blind person faces, and therefore they are the best helper. Therefore they used to assist the blind in the best possible manner, because they have suffered it, they have experienced it. And the girl said it to the narrator that I want you to try it for a day. Shall I lead you anywhere? I asked. Oh yes, she said, let's go for a little walk. Only you must tell me about things. I shall be so glad. When today is over, the other bad days can't be half as bad as this. Having a leg tied up and hopping about on a crutch, it is almost fun, I guess. Having an arm tied up is a bit more troublesome, because you can't eat without help and things like that. I don't think I will mind being deaf for a day. At least not much, but being blind is so frightening. My head aches all the time just from worrying that I will get hurt. Where are we now? So now the girl and the narrator, they are walking in the garden. The narrator has asked the girl that shall he lead her to anywhere. Then she said that okay, let's go for a little walk. So while on their walk, she is explaining her feeling to the narrator. And here in this paragraph, here glad it means happy, troublesome it means difficult. So she says it to the narrator that being a blind is the most difficult. And she says that her head used to ache throughout the day on which she is supposed to be blind. Why her head aches? That is being given over here, that she explained that it always comes to her mind that maybe she would be hit by some or other thing. This is the thought which comes repetitively to her mind. It comes time and again to her mind, and that's why she is worried. And then she says that other days, that is lame day, deaf day, is not much difficult as being a blind day, as being a blind on the blind day. She says that having a leg tied up, it means she is talking about a lame day. On lame day, their legs used to be tied, and they have to hop, they have to jump on the crutch. And she says that it's just like a fun. It means they are supposed to walk on only one leg and with a crutch in their other hand. So she says that it's quite fun because they are supposed to hop on one leg, so it's just like a game. But she says that on the day when her arms are tied up, that day she has described as a difficult day. जिस दिन उनका हाथ बंधा होता था, बंधा होना है, उस दिन को वो काफ़ी डिफ़िकल्ट बताती है. क्यों? Because she says that she can't even eat by herself. She had to depend upon her helper. Then only they can eat or do anything because their hands are tied. And then she says that I don't think I will mind being a deaf for a day, at least not much. And then she says that even on the deaf day, she will not be much worried, but she says that being a blind is frightening, it's dreadful, it's fearful. Then she asks to the narrator that where she has reached now. In the playground, I said, we are walking toward the house. Miss Beam is walking up and down the garden with a tall girl. What is the girl wearing? My little friend asked. A blue cotton skirt and a pink blouse. I think it's Millie, she said. What color is her hair? Very light, I said. Yes, that's Millie, says the head girl. So now, when the girl who was blind for the day, when she asked to the narrator that where they have reached as they were walking in the garden, he said that now we have reached in the playground. And then he said that he can see Miss Beam walking up and down in the garden with a tall girl. At that point, this girl, the blind girl, she asked to the narrator that what that girl is wearing. Then he said that she is wearing a blue cotton skirt and pink blouse. Then she asked the color of the hair of that girl. Then he said that it's light in color. Then she said that it's Millie, the head girl of that school. There's an old man tying up roses, I said. Yes, that's Peter. He's the gardener. He's 100 of years old. And here comes a girl with curly red hair. She's on crutches. That's Anita, she said. So the narrator, he was explaining each and every person who could be seen in the ground. And the girl who was blind for the day, she was able to name each and every person whosoever was being described by the narrator to that girl. So he said that there is an old man who is tying roses, who is working in the garden. Then she said that it's Peter, the name of that person was Peter, and he was gardener and he was 100-year-old. Then he said that there was a girl with curly red hair and she's on crutches. Here you can see in image this is crutch. And here you can see in this image the girl is walking on crutch with the crutch in her armpit. Then she said, she named that girl as well. She said that that's Anita. And you can see over here as this girl with whom the narrator is walking, she had her blind day, but the girl, the Anita, she had her lame day on that day. And so we walked on. Gradually I discovered that I was 10 times more thoughtful than I ever thought I could. I also realized that if I had to describe people and things to someone else, it made them more interesting to me. When I finally had to leave, I told Miss Beam that I was very sorry to go. Ah, she replied, then there is something in my system after all. Here gradually it means slowly. So while the author, the narrator, was taking a walk in the garden along with the girl who had her blind day, he says that number of thought was coming up in his mind. He was being thoughtful today, and he says that he realized that explaining things, describing things to the people made him quite interesting, made him quite happy. And then finally he had to take leave, and therefore he went to take leave from Miss Beam, and then he said that he was feeling very bad to leave his campus. He don't want to go, he want to be here, he want to be there with the students, with the children, and he want to experience, he want to know about their feeling, how they used to feel. Then Miss Beam, when she heard that the narrator was feeling sorry to leave the campus, then she said that, oh, this gave me a sense, it seems, then it's quite sure, I am sure that there is something different about my system, and therefore you are feeling bad to leave my campus. This is all about this story. Thank you.